Hello and welcome to Love Anything Art. I'll begin by taking some really bright pink clay and some white clay, and then just cutting off a little piece of each and mixing them together. And this is just to make the pink a little less vibrant. And this is my soft pink color. Next, I'll take some of this elephant gray. I just love that name. And I will open it up and cut off a section, and then begin conditioning the clay. Once I've done that, I will take my roller and flatten it. You want it to be pretty thick. This is totally optional, but I have this little bead cap, and I'm just gonna use it to make a pattern all the way across this piece. I'm doing this video today for Beebeecraft. Beebeecraft is an online supply store, and best of all, they have a YouTube program for small YouTubers. All you need to do is go to their website and apply. Once approved, you'll pick out $40 worth of merchandise, and they will mail them to you for free. But in exchange for those goods, they do want you to do 3 videos for them. One will be an unboxing, pretty easy. And then the second 2, you will use the products that Beebeecraft gave you. If you're interested in this program, I will put a link to their website in the description box, along with all the products I'll be using today. I'm going to take some brown clay and I'm going to roll it out till it's pretty thin. I'll fold it in half on itself. And then just press one end against a flat surface. And then begin twisting the piece. Then just cut off both ends. I'll begin placing this on my elephant gray clay. Just making little lines going all the way up, or halfway up I should say. Once I've done that, I'm going to make little branches coming off of each of those stems. Make it as random as you can to make it look kind of natural. And this is my piece with all my little branches. I'll take that soft pink clay I made, just pinch off just a little ball, and then just give it a nice roll. And then roll it out just a little bit. And then cut it into 5 even length pieces. Then roll each ball between your finger just to make it round. And with each of those, I'm going to take a paintbrush, the very end of it, and just begin putting a little notch or dip in the little petal. I'll do that with all 5 of my petals. And then I'll begin stacking them to make a little cherry blossom. You can make a little dip in the middle to connect all the pieces. And then just start placing those on your branches. Taking a little bit of red clay and just the tip of a needle tool, and just kind of scratched off little pieces, and then place that in the center of my cherry blossom. I'll continue on and just make a whole bunch more. And I did that. It took me a few hours to do this. And then just take a cutter, whatever cutter you want. I have this oval one and then this rectangular one. I've decided to use the oval. Then you're kind of just going to want to place it around on your slab to cut out a shape or an area that you feel looks good. And with the first cut here, I should have put some water on my cutter. It kind of stuck, the clay kind of stuck to the cutter when I did it. So I'll just dip that in the water. And then just continue cutting out my areas that I think look good. And with the parts that you have left, you can dissect it and take off the little brown and the pink parts and then just remix up the gray clay so that you can save all of your scraps. And these are all my pieces that I have cut out. I am going to take 2 of them and save them for earrings, and the rest I plan on making a necklace and possibly a bracelet. At this point, I'm going to kind of just pick out some beads that I like, that I think go good with my clay. And I really like these pink ones that I have, so I'm just going to probably use those. They look pretty good with it. Not too bright and not too dull. And then also I'm going to use these clasps that I got from Beebeecraft. The links for all the products I'll be using from Beebeecraft will be down in the description box. Kind of just looking through here to pick out the one that I like the best. I think they all look fabulous, but gotta have that special one to go with my piece I'm making. And ultimately, I have chosen these. For each of my pieces of clay, I'm going to pre-poke an eye hook hole on both ends and then place in an eye hook. After this, I will bake my pieces, and also for my earrings, I will put an eye hook on just one end of each of them. After baking, I'll just remove all of the eye hook pins, and I'm going to sand the backs and the edges to make it nice and smooth, and to get rid of any imperfections. The next product from Beebeecraft that I received is this wire. Just going to take off a section, just cutting off a good piece. With each of my cherry blossom pieces, I'm going to glue in the eye hooks, and I do want them all facing the same direction. And then my beads, I'm going to start making an eye hook on either side of it. So I'm going to be using these eye hook pins and these tools. Some of the eye hook pins do have little flat heads on the end, and others have a pre-done eye hook loop. So those are really nice. If you have the flat-headed ones, you'll just have to cut off one of the ends. But I'm going to use this pre-done one. I'm going to place my bead on. Then I'm going to cut off a section. I need to make sure that the section I cut off will be long enough to loop over and make a eye hook. And then I will make the eye hook on the other end. And you want them both to be facing the same direction. And I'll kind of show you here. And you just bend it over on itself. And then I just bend it back the other way. And then you just keep working it back and forth until you get that loop closed. And I'll make several of those. And then to assemble my jewelry, I'll put a jump ring on both ends. And on the second end, I'll connect one of those bead pieces I made. And then I'll connect them all together. And these are them all connected. I'm going to cut the wire in half that I cut off earlier. I'm going to place a crimp bead on one end of the string. And then flatten it with a pair of pliers. Next, I'll pick out a clam shell size that will go over that crimp bead, and then close it around the crimp bead to hide that. And I also really like these beads. I'm going to use those to string with my other pink beads. These were really pretty. They had like an iridescent kind of a shine to them. And I won't show you the entire time of me putting my beads on here. I just wanted to kind of basically show you the pattern that I will be making. And I played around with this a little bit and decided I liked a 3 bead and then 1 bead pattern. So it'll look like that. And these are my 2 strings of beads. It's time to add on the toggle clasps. Again, you'll just take out 2 crimp beads, 1 for each end, and then 2 clam shells. Place your crimp bead on the end. Get it pretty close to the end of the beads. Give it just a little bit of slack and then crimp it. You want to cut off all of the excess wire. Do the same with the other side. And then you'll add on your clam shell. Make sure it's closed on there pretty good. And then you'll place a jump ring on the end of both of them. And then one side you'll add your flat toggle piece and the other one your closed circle piece. And at this point I was starting just to play around to see how I wanted them to lay out. I wanted to have 2 layers of the cherry blossoms, but the more I played around with it and connected them, and it was not laying right. So ultimately I decided just to go with a 1 string. And I like the way it turned out. It sits pretty good when you're wearing it. I really like the colors together in the beads. And these are the earrings that I made. Just added a bead to the end and an earring hook to the back. And then this is the little bracelet I made with the leftovers that I didn't use on the necklace. Gotta use up all of your leftovers. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was an experience for myself. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!